You've just come back from Sentinel One sort of global media tour following Empower. Can you give the listeners a bit of background about that event and what it was all about?
Yeah, absolutely. So we did a run of 5 major cities on the road with Sentinel One, and that was really all about engaging peer-to-peer. It was getting our partners into a room with some industry experts and some of their peers to talk about, hey, what are you doing in security? How are you advancing it? What's your stack look like? What are we missing, right? Where are the risks? What's changing in the market with compliance and regulation? And the best people to learn from are your peers, because some of them have been through it and some of them haven't, and they all have a different experience. So really our role in those events was just to facilitate the discussion and then have the room work it. And one of the things I always say is, when I'm standing at the front of one of these rooms is I don't have the answer. The answer is in the room, right? And we all just have to work together because the market's big enough for everybody. There's enough business to go around. So you can't look at each other as competitors.
Talking about events, you're quite passionate about doing events, both for your customers, going to MSP events for networking and running hosted events yourself.
Yeah.
What is your preference and what's the best ROI you could do for customers and thinking where I actually spend their dollars?
So nothing against all those who hold trade shows in the marketplace, because I do love them. But hosted events are my preference. And listen, we get more engagement time with our partners, and that's important. And it helps us as a business to learn. And that's an important component of those hosted events is, MSPs will always evolve faster to market changes than a vendor will. And so when I can learn from them and I can bring that back to the business, that allows us to change our strategies as well too. So to me, the hosted events are the better. And yes, they do tend to perform better ROI. But that ROI is on multiple levels. It's not just a sales deal, right? It's, as I said to you at lunch, we meet them where they're at. And the whole point of that is it also helps with retention, right? We understand their struggles, their pains, and we're not always perfect as a company. We might have made mistakes and they let us know. And when you're in person, it's just that different level of engagement.
As a business, do you look for an ROI on these events, or do you just see it as getting closer to your customers? What's your outcome from it?
Yeah, we do look for an ROI on them, absolutely. But that ROI is not always easy to track, right? You can't put a metric or a KPI on relationship. So, you can't put a metric or a KPI on brand recognition. So all of those things are kind of obtuse when you look at the overall ROI. So we don't put these stringent, big, hey, we have to have X amount of return, but we have an anticipated number that we look for. And it's definitely more than cost recovery, though, I can say that much.
David, I'm going to mention something that I'm still flabbergasted that I even know this, because you told me at lunch and I had to sort of double check that I actually heard it right. You've flown 49 times in the first 7.5 months of 2023. Why are you doing that? Why are you always on a plane? Your wife must be thinking, where is my husband? It's like you haven't even seen your house. So why are you always on a flight? Why is that?
You know what? It as much as I hate being on a plane and in an airport, I love being out in the market in front of our partners. I think it makes it not only helps, as I said earlier, with the learnings for the business, right? It helps me learn, right? It helps me be better at helping them in their organization. And you know what? It's great to get out there and just be able to engage at a different level and be able to see each market and look at whether I'm in London or I'm in Johannesburg or I'm in Sydney, Australia, or I'm in Dallas, Texas. Business is done differently in each of those, right? So there's a lot to learn. And listen, COVID changed a lot and I'm still learning from it. So it's, I'm just out there all the time.
With COVID, you're obviously doing Zoom calls, Teams calls, whatever it was. Do you have to now sort of justify the ROI of the flights and going away? Because like I said, you've got 2 more flights next month. By the end of the year, you said you might be doing 75 flights. Mm-hmm. That is not cheap.
No.
That is a big cost. So, but you were able to do it over Teams. So what do you see as the major investment in terms of, I'm going to fly around the world, I'm going to go to all these events, as opposed to, do you know what, I can do this on Teams and I can get the engagement?
Yeah, you know what? The engagement's different. It is when you're in person. You can have much more personal conversations in person. If I do an event to 2,000 MSPs virtually, I can't have them ask questions. But if I put 100 MSPs in one city in a room, we can all have a discussion. And that changes everything. And in all honesty, our customers asked us to come see them. They wanted to see us back in the market. They were tired of virtual meetings and what we called virtual fatigue. So you know what? For us, it's a small investment to garner the returns that we get back to the organization.
Let's talk about partner experience. Tell me a bit about what the partner experience team actually does at your business.
It's always a question I get. I should probably think of a new title that explains it better, maybe. But really, our job is that it's about the growth of not just our customers, but the overall market. So we put together a lot of different programs just to support the wider MSP channel. And those are things through, trainings. I mentioned you earlier, yes, we have a team called the Head Nerds. Those are their real titles. And I'm serious.
Is that how you advertise it?
Yeah,
Do you want to come and join the nerds?
Yes, it absolutely is. You can come to a nerd boot camp, a Head Nerds event, and they're industry experts. We put that program together. We just came out with a co-managed playbook, free to the wider market. So that's a lot of what we do. And then under the banner of partner experience, I have a community team as well too. They go out, they do a lot of events I can't get to, the regional events, and that's really just about being present, working within peer groups, industry associations, and so forth. Just helping to drive not just our message and our resources, but again, that learning back to us as well.
And how has it developed since you've been at Enable? You've been there a long time. How has the team grown and developed since its inception?
Yeah, so it actually started about 2 years ago that we decided to do this. And it was a whopping team of one. That was myself, which was very exciting. And then slowly over time, we've actually just recently added 2 more onto the team with plans to expand it more as well, too. So it's the importance of that partner experience and that community is massive. And really, our mantra is to continue to facilitate peer-to-peer engagement throughout the market and support the wider market. As I said to you at lunch, we will help any MSP, whether they're a customer or not of ours.
As an industry leader in partner experience over the last 2 years since you've started in that, what advice would you give to other organizations that are looking to create and sustain successful partnerships?
Yeah, so I might need to change my title because I might have created this job of partner experience, but that's all right. No, look, as other organizations want to do it, the big thing I would say is look outside of your own customer base, right? Go learn from the wider market, and as one of the things I always say is if it's a healthy market, then I'm a healthy vendor. And so you can't just be, kind of a little bit blindsided to we're only going to support our individual customers if you spend money with us. There's a great opportunity to build relationship with the wider market, bring thought leadership to them, work with them and understand their needs, their wants, their desires, their strategies, and their struggles. And then, help develop to that and learn from each other and engage. And that relationship will continue forever. And you can't think of it as an ROI of, hey, I'm going to build a relationship with a group of people who don't do business with me, and I expect a return in 30 to 60 days. That return might come in 2 years, but that's okay because that's all part of your brand in the marketplace.
And when you're not flying, David, which seems like you're flying every day, but when you're not flying, as a VP of partner experience, what are you doing day to day when you're on the ground, when you're in front of customers? What are you actually trying to achieve? How do you know if you're being successful in your job?
Yeah, you know what? A lot of it is, through partner experience, we get partners who will randomly call me or I'm in their office and we're actually working on specific strategies that they're working on, right? Trying to help them build them out, go to market. We'll get involved in maybe some of their sales initiatives and so forth. And at the same time, building programs to further that education in the marketplace. So that's part of my day-to-day as well, too. And then, obviously, planning and developing a lot of these hosted events that we're going to do around the world because we're about to do 19 more around the globe. So
yeah, you can't be going there. You'll be divorced if you're going to more
I'm
than
not
19
going to 19. No, you will not see that.
That isn't going to happen.
No.